Region season is over for Region 12 teams here in the Valley, but there's still one more game left. Skyview's taking the week off to get ready for the playoffs. The rest of the teams in the Valley are playing a tune-up game for the playoffs. For the Mountain Crest Mustangs, they're going to play host to the Tooele Buffaloes. They finished 4th in Region 11. They will be making the playoffs, but they run a wing T offense. It's a different look than what Mountain Crest has seen this year, and they may possibly run into that kind of look down the road in the playoffs. So they schedule a team like that there at the end of the season. The Buffaloes come in scoring a lot of points per game, but they're giving up a lot of points per game, almost 30 points per game. The Mountain Crest Mustangs, they're second in 4A in defense. They're not giving up many points at all, which is a good thing because they're having trouble scoring points. They only score 20 points per game. So this one could be a low scoring one. We'll see as the regular season wraps up tonight on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
At Ultra, we don't believe in limits, or telling runners they can't, or it's not possible. That's why we dared to make shoes with a foot-shaped toe box, and gave runners zero-drop technology so that runners could say goodbye to limits too. Ultra invites you to experience the difference everyone's talking about with zero risk. Love your run or send them back within 30 days, no questions asked. Get your pair today at ultrarunning.com. Ultra, zero limits.
Well, Coach, you got the region out of the way, in the playoffs again, and you and I were talking a moment ago, you lost a lot of seniors, and so, this year it's been a different experience for you. Tell me a little bit about, as you kind of look back at this year before we look forward to tonight.
This year has been ups and downs. We obviously have made mistakes and shot ourselves in the foot. This region's tough. It's about all I can explain about it. I mean, the teams here in this region are very good. They're tough. They're going to do well in the playoffs, I think, and we needed to execute better a little bit in the beginning. But like I say, last week we kind of got on a little bit of a roll right there and did some really good things with last week's execution and taking care of the football, and it helped us to our win last week.
Mountain Crest has had a reputation for a long time as being a hard-hitting team, defense, and they put points up, but the defense and that hitting has always been there when people talk about Mountain Crest. This year, no exception. You've had a pretty good, pretty solid defense all year this year.
They are. They're very. We've got a lot of experience on that side of the ball, though. That's a huge asset to why we're being successful in defense. We need to really. The kids focus on their assignments. We play assignment football. The kids really study. We've got great experience at safety, good experience at D-line. Our outside linebackers have had a lot of experience. We have 2 new inside backers, but they've really long and learned a lot and done some good things. Hard-hitting suckers, man. Yeah, the culture here has been special. I'm just glad to be a part of it, and that's one of our expectations here, though, is to be the toughest defense out there and be the hardest hitting team.
Tell me a little bit about tonight. You got Tooele, they run that wing T. Box Elder had a similar look. What kind of problems do they pose? And going into the playoffs, do you approach this game a little bit differently, where it's not a region type of game?
As far as approaching it, no. We're here to win. That's the goal. Region game or not, you need to play your best ball right now. You need to be playing your best football, and this we feel like can be a good stepping stone to us going into the playoffs. So we need to play well tonight and execute. And the wing T, it's if you don't know what you're looking at, if you don't know what your assignment is, it's like playing the option. I mean, the option is assignment football, and if you're not assigned to what you're supposed to attack and do, it'll get by you in a hurry. So our kids do a good job of studying, and hopefully they've seen it enough and repped enough in their minds and on film to prep and stop it.
All right, good luck tonight and in the playoffs, Coach.
Thanks.
Say the word base. Say the word mess.
Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital, together we're greater. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. Lynn's Audio and Video, Cache Valley specialist for 60 years. Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning. Give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Herms Inn, last chance for great food. Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Planet Fitness of Logan, no intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years.
Hello everyone and welcome to Lynn R. Miller Field on the campus of Mountain Crest High School. As tonight the Tooele Buffaloes take on the Mountain Crest Mustangs. I'm Eric Olson. I'll be along with you here all evening long, as we have been all season, with a couple of playoff games to go still as well. It looks like Tooele may have won the toss and are going to defer over to Mountain Crest. Tooele comes in 3-6 on the season, 2-3 in the region. They're going to go in as the 4th seed. They don't know who they're going to play yet. They're going to play the Region 10 number 1, either Orem or Spanish Fork. Orem and Spanish Fork play each other tonight. Coach Jeff Lewis's team scoring 26 points per game on the season, but the big problem is they're giving up almost 30, 29.6. That's the 6th most in 4A. So they're putting points on the board, but when they're winning, it's got to be in a shootout. They run a wing T type of offense, but they can spread it out and throw the ball as well. And they've got some numbers, but they are going to be missing some playmakers tonight. Nukulube Helu, their top running back, 96 carries, 769 yards. That's 8 yards per carry and 14 touchdowns. He's second in 4A in touchdowns, 11th in yards, and one of the top 25 in tackles in 4A. He's not playing tonight. He's out with a concussion. And get him ready for the playoffs. So a lot of the offensive load will fall onto Kalani Youngie, the quarterback. He's 16th in 4A in passing touchdowns and 9th in yards. 1,317 yards on the season, 15 yards of completion and 8 touchdowns. He completes passes at a 57% clip. He'll mostly be throwing to Austin Miono, 10th in 4A in yards for 502, 6 touchdowns through the air. They're coming off a loss where they lost at Park City 42-21 last week. Meanwhile, Mountain Crest comes off of that big 42-0 win over Green Canyon, a win they had to have to get into the playoffs, and they did what they needed to do to get the team into the playoffs. 5-4, 2-3 in the region. They'll go in as the 3 seed. They're going to play either Dixie or Desert Hills, and they don't know who they're going to play yet either, because both of those teams play tonight. So by the end of the night, they'll know which team they're playing. Either way, they're going to be driving to St. George next Friday for a game. Mountain Crest, about 21 points per game offensively. They only give up 14 points per game. Their defense has been there all season long. The offense is where the problem has been, and talking to some of the coaching staff, they really feel like maybe they turned a corner last week. A young team, only 8 seniors on this Mountain Crest team, and you know, they're wondering if maybe they finally got it, something clicked with the offense. And you know the defense is good because Green Canyon scores points. They've scored points all season. Points production hasn't been Green Canyon's problem, and they were shut out by Mountain Crest. In fact, talking with one of the coaches before the game, he said he really believes that the Mustangs are a handful of plays, 8 to 10 plays away from being the top team in this region, from winning a bunch more games. So that's how close it's been for the Mustangs. This game really doesn't mean much other than for bragging rights, and the Mustangs will get first crack at it, and it looks like they're going to have good field position as Jace Dart heads down the sideline. They're not going to need field position. They got a touchdown. That's the best field position in the other team's end zone.
It looked like he might step out of bounds at about the 50, but he stayed in and he returns it all the way for the touchdown. He caught that around the 10-yard line. Leaning over to the Mountain Crest spotters, see if they can help me out. And they said it's about a 90-yard kick return. So the Mustangs on the board immediately. So we'll see the Tooele offense when we come back. 7-0, 11:48 to play in the first quarter. You're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
They would tell me something and I'd say, huh? And then they tell me again and I'd say, huh? And they'd say, never mind. And so I called and made an appointment.
Say the word pass.
He's a PhD, and I know what it takes to get a PhD.
Say the word red.
It was like night and day. And then the hearing test was the thing that I thought, wow, he really knows what he's doing. I would recommend Dr. Daines to anybody, everybody.
Back at Lynn R. Miller Field at Mountain Crest, 7-0, Mountain Crest on the board just like that. As the opening kickoff returned 90 yards for a touchdown by Jay Stark. So Tooele in a hole already. Again, this is a non-region game. It doesn't count for anything in the standings other than just a win or a loss. It doesn't affect playoff seedings or anything. But these teams both, they want to win. Talking to the coaching staff of Mountain Crest, they're going to approach it like any other game. You want to go into the playoffs with as much momentum as you can. This one's muffed at the 1-yard line, so we'll have to return it. And returned by Conway Hogan out to the 15-yard line, and that's where Tooele will start. The Buffaloes running the wing T offense. That means there's a lot for the Mountain Crest defense to look at. Those linebackers really have to take some keys. Linemen have to do their jobs. You do your job, you can shut that down. They did a pretty good job of shutting down a Box Elder offense that's been pretty prolific this season. Mountain Crest, one of the only teams that's really slowed down Box Elder earlier this season, as they got a win in that game. The Mustangs playing smash mouth football. You'd say that, and they come out spreading it out. Iongi with the completion over to Seeley. Aloisi Seeley. And that's a gain of 6. Jackson taking him down, and 2nd and 4. And they spread it out again. The Mountain Crest coaches told me before the game they thought Tooele had come throw the ball around a little. Here's Seeley again. And that's going to be right at the sticks. Jackson on the tackle again. He's just a sophomore, is Jackson. And he's one of the tackle leaders. In fact, he's 7th in 4A in tackles. Now a running back joins Iongi in the backfield, but Iongi's going to throw again. This one a little bit high. He was looking for Seeley again, and the first incompletion by Iongi. In region play, the Mustangs giving up about the same amount of points, in fact almost exactly the same amount of points as they have all season long, 14.8 versus 14.7. They're the number 2 defense, scoring defense in 4A. Here comes some pressure. Pass is complete by Iongi, a pickup of about, well, we'll say 5. And Conway Hogan with the catch. So it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Buffaloes, trailing 7-0 with 10:16 to play in the first period. Mountain Crest returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. So this is the first possession for Tooele. Tooele without their leading rusher, Nukaluve Helu. Jordan Leakehe actually also out. Another back that gets a lot of play. Big hit put on after the completion, but the receiver escapes. That's Seeley. In a foot race to the end zone, he's caught at the 5-yard line. First and goal, Tooele. 60 yards. Seeley's got 3 catches for 70 yards, and it's first and goal for the Buffaloes. That was on 3rd and 5. They had Seeley right at the first down sticks, but he broke 3 tackles, and then he was off to the races. Seeley, the running back, joined by Ware, and there is a wing back there as well. They're going to give it to Seeley. Seeley hit after a gain of a couple, but he ends up pushing his way down to the 1-yard line. Second and goal from the 1. So in the absence of Helu and Leakehe, Aloisio Seeley getting a lot of touches. Iongi's going to keep it. He fell down, but it looks like the ball may have crossed, but no signal yet. No, he did not. No gain for Iongi. Third and goal from inside the 1-yard line. Wing T look, Iongi's going to keep this one. This time he stays on his feet and pushes forward for the touchdown. Iongi at 6'1", the junior, pretty good size, gets in there. And we're an extra point away from a tie game with 8:29 to play in the first period. Kicks up, kicks good. We're tied at 7 with 8:29 to play in the first. You're watching the Game of the Week.
My older brother thought he could do a 360. Yeah, he got maybe a 60 before his face planted. We went to the emergency room and Dad told us to behave because we probably would have to wait a long time. But they brought us right back here, and the doctor used x-ray vision to see what the big dummy broke.
ER specialists at every one of our 8-star hospitals are dedicated to seeing you fast. Mountain Star Hospitals. Look for the star.
Gonna post this on Instagram.
7-all with 8:29 to play in the first period. Mountain Crest opens the game with a kick return for a touchdown. Tooele answers. The key play, a 60-yard reception from Iongi to Seeley. Brady Hall and Jace Dart back to receive the kick, standing about their own 5-yard line. Hall will be all over the field tonight. You're going to see a couple of different quarterbacks. This time they just squib it. It's taken by one of the up backs. Returned up to about the 36-yard line. And that's where the Mustangs will take over. It was returned by Camden Olson.
Camden Olson on the return, catches the ball between
the junior.
Advances it to the 36-yard line. 15-yard return. The Mustangs will take over first and 10.
A few weeks ago, they started fiddling around with having Mason Baldwin play some quarterback, the junior. And he and Hall will switch off, and when they do that, they can get Hall in the backfield as a running back. They can get him as a receiver and they can get him a lot more reps defensively and just use his skills. And this is Hall with a 7-yard run.
Gain of 7 yards on the play will bring up a 2nd and 3 for the Mustangs. Number 56, Tanner Stringham on the stop for the Buffaloes.
And they'll go usually series to series and not play to play with Hall. They fake the little sweep. Hall's going to keep. Takes off. He's got a lot of room to the near side. Sprints to the sideline. Turns it up near the 46 and gets down to the 45. And he picks up 12. He had a lot of room to the near side. As everything was flowing away, he took a look and said, "Hey, I think I'll run out there." Here you see Baldwin, 12, playing receiver on this series. He's out there with Olsen to the far side. No receivers near side and 3 to the right. Darts in the backfield. He's going to lead block. Hall again with a lot of running room, and he's knocked out of bounds and rolls clear to the track. He's at the 32-yard line. Picks up 13. Brady Hall ripping off chunks of yardage. 3 carries, 32 yards for Brady Hall on this possession. Number 1 steps into the huddle. Brandon Arnell, the receiver, to the near side, and Olsen goes to the far side. In fact, Hall hits Baldwin now. And he's going to hand it off to Dart. Dart's got room. Picks up a block downfield, stays on his feet down to the 16-yard line. A pickup of 16. And the Mustangs are in business. Brady Hall's rushed for 549 yards on the season. Dart 445. Schroeder's had a good season as well, 460. Quarterback this time's Baldwin. He took a wallop. He picks up about 3. 2nd and 7 at the 14-yard line of Tooele. Tie game at 7 with 6:40 and the clock running in the first quarter. Looks like it's Baldwin back at quarterback. He's going to hand it off, and maybe a gain of 1. That's Schroeder. Schroeder's 4th and 4A in tackles on defense. He had 111 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns last week against Green Canyon. 18 tackles and 2 sacks. He had himself a game. 3rd and 7 after no gain for Schroeder. Baldwin still the quarterback. The inside give. Turning the corner and getting down to about the 11-yard line is Dart. He's well short of a first down. Gets down to about the 11. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 4-yard gain. Let's see what the Mustangs decide to do. We got a timeout down there right now. No, it's a penalty against Mountain Crest. It's a hold on the Mustangs. Didn't see a flag anywhere. Thought maybe there was a timeout as the team was kind of moving toward the sideline, and then the officials came out of there in a very officious manner and said, "Hang on, everybody." So instead of 4th down and a couple, it's going to be 3rd down at back at about the 23. They've got to get down to the 8. Need about 14 yards for a first down. Hall, the quarterback. Lots of running room. He's going to throw to Dart, who's open. Touchdown, Mustangs. 23 yards. And that's a third down conversion. Arnell set to attempt the extra point. And the Mustangs back on top, 14-7. 5:03 to play in the first period. You're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. Back at Mountain Crest High School, 65 yards on the drive and a touchdown for the Mustangs. And it's 14-7. Mountain Crest back on top. Mountain Crest returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Tooele answered with a touchdown drive of their own. Pechtel and Hogan back for Tooele. This one's going to Hogan at about the 6-yard line. Hogan, running room up to about the 24, and they're going to give him the 25. And that's where Tooele will take over, trailing by 7. Skyview with the night off. They elected not to play on this shortened UEA weekend. The other games are all non-region. Park City's at Ridgeline, Logan's at Payson, Ben Lomond's at Green Canyon. Skyview, Logan, Green Canyon, Mountain Crest in that order going into the playoffs, and we'll talk about the playoffs in a minute. Iongi steps out of a sack and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, there was one of the Mustang defenders back there as soon as the ball was, and Iongi had to climb the ladder to get the snap. In fact, he's going to lose a yard. You look at Mountain Crest's numbers defensively, 29 sacks on the season in 9 games. So that's about 3 sacks per game. Elijah Jackson is 7th in 4A in tackles. Camden Olson is 8th in 4A, and we mentioned Hunter Schroeder is 4th in 4A. Jackson and Huerta are tied for 5th in sacks, 5 each. And Iongi started to back up like he was expecting the snap and didn't get it. Mountain Crest jumped. Let's see. They're going to call it on Tooele. Tooele will be playing the winner of Orem and Spanish Fork next week on the road. Most likely that will be Orem. Orem, the defending state champs, and they returned plenty of playmakers. They're the favorite. Iongi looks to the little slant pattern, picks up the lost penalty yardage and a couple more.
Iongi completes a quick slant out to number 15, Seth Whitehorse.
Picked up about 7, and it's going to be 3rd and 7. Well, the last 2 third downs haven't went well for the Mustang defense. One was a 60-yard pass play that set up a 1st and goal for Tooele, and the next one was 3rd and goal from the 1, and Tooele punched it in. And Tooele wants a timeout with 3:08 to play in the quarter to talk about what they're going to do next.
Mustang fans, don't forget to visit the apparel shack directly underneath the center bleachers.
It was interesting walking around down there amongst the teams during warm-ups, talking with some of the Mountain Crest coaches and just watching their warm-ups. For a team that finished the season 5-4, a winning record, right? Even if they lose tonight, it won't be a losing record. So they're 5-4 coming into this one. They're 2-3 in region, and the region didn't go how they hoped it would, but they were able to make the playoffs. There's a quiet confidence about this team. Like they think that they're gonna maybe make some noise and catch some people unaware. We'll find all that out next week. Right now, business at hand is this one. Iangi throws back against the grain, and it's incomplete. Braxton Borders, number 20, had to go down to his knees, and he couldn't haul it in. Looked like a shortstop out there trying to pick that one up. 4th down for the Buffaloes. Camden Olson and Brandon Arnell back to receive. Come after that kick. Ball taken at the 45 by Olson. Switches arms, tackled at the 49. So 6 yards on the return, and the Mustangs already leading 14-7 with 2:53 to play in the first period. Take over in Buffalo territory with a chance to put a little distance between themselves and Tooele. Here's the give. Actually, it wasn't a give. That was the keep by Baldwin as he's in on at the quarterback right now. 7 yards.
Number 2, Alosio Seeley on the tackle.
The Mustangs huddling up. Big number 77, Nicholas Hogan, comes in on the defensive line. He's right there at the nose. Baldwin rolls, throws, has a man wide open, far sideline. Inside the 30, down to the 25, and the Mustangs are in business. In fact, that was Brady Hall.
Advances the ball down to the Tooele 25-yard line, and that is another Mountain Crest first down.
17 yards and a first down. Mustangs on the move again. Under 2 minutes to play in the first period, leading 14-7. 2 backs and Baldwin hands off. Big hole. That's Dart down to the 20. He's a little slow to get up. I wonder if he fell on the ball. That's 5 yards for Dart. That's another thing, talking to the coaching staff of this Mustang team. They really like their offensive line. They've been able to run the ball all season long with teams knowing they're going to run the ball and really stacking things up. They've been able to open holes all season. Breaking a tackle is Schroeder. He's inside the 5, spins to the 3. Down to the 4. It's a 16-yard gain for Schroeder. First and goal, Mountain Crest at the 4-yard line. and Hall, the quarterback, up under center. He's got Fuller. Is it Schroeder? He hands it off to the second man through. And it's Schroeder, touchdown, Mountain Crest. With 46 seconds to play in the first period.
Touchdown NC. In for the extra point attempt, number 3, Brandon Arnell.
Arnell on for the kick. And the Mustangs have 21 points, 7 for Tooele. With 46 seconds to play in the first period, you're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
You're so adorable. I'm taking you home.
The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
21-7 at Lynn R. Miller Field. 46 seconds to play. Eric Olson along with you as the Mountain Crest Mustangs lead the Tooele Buffaloes in a non-region game on UAA weekend. A short week to get ready for both of these teams. Doesn't count. I mean, you can get an extra win or an extra loss in the standings. Doesn't do anything with the playoff picture or anything else. Both teams play in this one as a tune-up for the playoffs. Kick into the end zone, and the Buffaloes will take over at the 20-yard line, playing without their leading rusher, Nukuluve Helu. And they miss him not only offensively but defensively as well. Helu, 769 yards on the season. He's second in 4A in touchdowns with 14. He averages 8 yards a carry. And he's their leading tackler on defense. He had 77 yards and a touchdown last week. Iongi, the quarterback, 20 for 32, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miono had 82 yards and a touchdown reception as a receiver. Iongi keeps, picks his way forward for 4. Jackson's name called again on the tackle. It's a good look at the Buffaloes. Look kind of like, other than the helmets, the uniforms look like the Indianapolis Colts. And it's easy for old eyes like mine to see their numbers from up here. Those silver numbers on the gray jerseys are difficult for those of us in the booth. First world problems. Here's the completion. Iongi for a couple yards out to Sealy. He's got 4 catches, 72 yards. One of them a 60-yarder. And that's the end of the first quarter. 21-7, Mountain Crest. We'll stay right here. A lot of breaks with all the scoring there. 4 touchdowns in that first quarter between the two teams. So if you take a look at the playoff picture, the top bracket, you got Skyview as the #1 seed. They're going to host Snow Canyon next week, next Friday. Then Green Canyon will go on the road, play either Dixie or Desert Hills. They play the winner of that one as the 4th seed. Ogden will take on either Orem or Spanish Fork. Whoever loses that game is who Ogden gets. Park City plays host to Salem Hills. In that bottom bracket, Mountain Crest will travel to either Dixie or Desert Hills. They play the #2 seed out of Region 9. Tooele will travel to either Orem or Spanish Fork, the Region 10 #1. Stansbury and Mountain View go at it. And Logan plays host to Pineview. And that's the game we're looking at doing, is that Pineview and Logan game. That one should be a good one. Pineview losing to Green Canyon to start the season. Green Canyon pulling off the upset going down there and beating Pineview. Youngie on third down, air mills it out of bounds, and Tooele will have to punt. Youngie's 5 of 8 for 84 yards, not a bad start. But he put that one way over the head of his intended receiver. Fair catch called for and made at the 41-yard line, and the Mountain Crest offense takes over there. And we'll see who the quarterback is. It's been rotating, shuffling quarterbacks all game long, and really for the last few games for Mountain Crest. Mason Baldwin, the junior, he'd been playing wide receiver almost exclusively all season long, and in the last few games he's been in a rotation with Brady Hall, and it looks like it's going to be Baldwin up under center. Hall split wide. Going to fake the pitch and know the end around, and Hall's got it. He's a quarterback looking for Jace Dart, who's open. Dart has to wait for the ball, but he makes the catch at the 29. "30 yards from Hall to Dart on the trickeration." So Hall now, 2 passes, 53 yards. And a touchdown. Both of them to Dart. Give to the first man through. That's Schroeder. He picks up a couple. Schroeder 4 carries, 22 yards, and a touchdown. As we've just started the second quarter. Mountain Crest leads 21-7. Pitch to Dart. He's got blockers. Schroeder's one of them. Flag down. Dart out of bounds at the 20-yard line. And let's see what the call is. They threw it where you'd usually see a hold. And it is a hold on the Mustangs. So Mountain Crest with their second penalty. It's a 10-yard penalty from where it occurred, so it's going to be 2nd down and 15. Camden Olson brings in the play. Tony Lopez comes off. Here's Baldwin. Looking downfield, he unloads. He's got a man inside the 10. It's caught. That's Camden Olson. "31 yards, 1st and goal, Mustangs." Well, Baldwin proving that he can do more than hand off. Here's the give, a good push up front. Touchdown, Mustangs. Schroeder with his 2nd touchdown run. This one from 2 yards out. The Mountain Crest, whose offense has struggled all season long, put up 42 last week against Green Canyon. And with 10-11 to play in the first half in this one, they've put up 28. 28-7, Mountain Crest leads with 10-11 left in the half on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. 27, Mountain Crest leads Tooele with 10-11 to play in the first half. Other scores of interest: Ben Lomond and Green Canyon tied at 7 in the first quarter of that one. The last score we had, Logan leads Payson in the early going 7-0. Ridgeline 7-6 over Park City. That one near the end of the first quarter. Arnell's kick fielded by Hogan. Now they run the reverse. Hogan gives it off. Hard running, picking up some extra yards. A guy that's not on the roster, number 24. Not on the Thule roster. So he's Tooele's secret weapon. And got him a few more yards as they ran that reverse, and something for him to work on and something to put on film for Orem or Spanish Fork to think about in the playoffs in 10 days. Ball at the 27-yard line. And Iongi has Ware in the backfield along with Seeley. Going to give to Ware. Ware starts outside, then turns it up. Picked up a couple.
Iongi hands off to number 26, Gavin Ware. After right side, cuts it back inside for gain of 2. Bring up 2nd and 8 for Tooele.
Well, here we are at the end of another season. I try to decide where 10 weeks have gone. I've seen a little bit of everything. It's been an entertaining region season, especially. Skyview winning the region for the second year in a row, going undefeated. As they stopped this play, they had pitched it back to Borders.
Double wing formation. Quick pitch, there is a flag on the play.
They throw a flag and whistle it dead. A procedure call against Tooele, their second penalty. Not a lot of flags thus far in this one. That's only the second on Tooele, 2 on Mountain Crest. But the big surprise in the region, I think, really has to be the Logan Grizzlies. The positive surprise and the turnaround, the biggest turnaround in the state from losses to wins. I think it was a net gain of like 6 games. And Johnny Parkinson coming in for the Grizzlies and playing well, and Coach Travis Van Leeuwen playing at Utah State a few years ago for Gary Anderson, and then comes back and coaching up the Grizzlies. Iongi unloads off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Seth Whitehouse. And I think maybe the negative surprise of the region season, maybe Ridgeline. It's you always wonder kind of year to year what you're going to have, and a lot of the talk when you talk to people in the know about the high school football, a lot of people felt like Ridgeline might really compete for the region title, and they had some tough games that went the other way. Iongi, pump and go, too high, and it's picked off. So the Mustangs defense opportunistic. It's picked off by, it's Veeder with the interception. So Iongi throws the pick, an interception. And the Mustang offense back on the field. Mountain Crest defense has been solid all year. If they can get this offense rolling, they may be able to surprise some people in the playoffs. Tight formation. Baldwin's going to keep it, nobody to hand it to. So he runs forward for a yard.
Counter play, mix up in the backfield, but does scramble ahead for a yard gain.
Under 8.5 to play in a first half that Mountain Crest has dominated, literally from the opening kickoff. They took the opening kickoff back around about 90 yards for a touchdown. Jace Dart looked like he was going to step out around midfield. He tiptoed down the sideline and scored. Here's Dart again, and he's wrapped up after a gain of 2.
Baldwin out of the shotgun split back formation, hands it off to Jace Dart on the left edge.
Tooele came back and marched down the field on their first possession and punched it in to tie it at 7. But the Mustangs have scored on every possession. And they lead at 28-7. 2 rushing touchdowns for Schroeder. A passing touchdown from Hall. Baldwin's going to give it off on 3rd down and 7. Dart. Boy, he's close, and the White Hat saying it's 1st down.
And that is enough yardage for another Mountain.
So Dart, 5 carries, 34 yards for Jace Dart. And the touchdown on the kick return. Baldwin stays in at quarterback. Baldwin's going to throw. He just tries to throw a little dump off pass as he had pressure.
Mason Baldwin,
and it goes incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. Good pressure applied off the left edge by Tooele. Brings up
He was pressured by, well, another player we don't have a number for, 14. We don't have his number on the roster there, so. Baldwin with his first incomplete pass. That was the first incomplete pass by either quarterback for the Mustangs. As we approach the 7-minute mark of the first half, with Mountain Crest leading by 21. Baldwin rolls, unloads, has a man underneath. It's Dart racing down the far sideline to the pylon. And he's down inside the 5-yard line. 26 yards to Dart on the misdirection coming the other way.
Stop made by number 26, Gavin Ware.
Dart's having himself a game as a receiver. 79 yards and a touchdown on 3 receptions. Here's the give, and it's a Mountain Crest touchdown. Schroeder gets the hat trick. That's his 3rd touchdown. From 1 yard out. Schroeder's the hammer tonight. Arnell's kick is good. 35-7 with 6:46 to play in the first half. Mountain Crest taming the Buffaloes.
PCs Unlimited is Cache Valley's first choice for all things computer. For over 20 years, our friendly and knowledgeable staff have been there to help you with on-site and in-store service, repair, diagnostics, networking, upgrades, system and data recovery, all of your computer needs. Our prices are low and our customer service is the best. Come see the professionals at PCs Unlimited, 610 North Main in Logan.
Back in Hiram, and the Mustangs are putting the beat down on the Buffaloes, 35-7. With 6:46 to play, Mountain Crest has scored every time they've touched the ball. Hogan and Seeley back to receive. Maybe Pechtold, let me look. And it's Pechtold who takes it in the end zone. See what Tooele does here. You're on the road in a game that really doesn't mean anything. And you're down 35-7. Mountain Crest averaging 20 points per game all season long. They did a little better in region. They got up to 22. That was helped a lot by a 42-point outburst last week. And now you're looking at a Mountain Crest team that after having trouble scoring all year long in the last just under 6 quarters, has scored 77 points. Yongi back to throw. Has his man out near the sticks. In fact, he's got one more step beyond. 11 yards and a first down. Yongi's got 95 yards. That went to Seth Whitehouse. Tooele, that was their 12th pass play. They've only run the ball 6 times. They're in that wing formation now, and they're going to hand it off. Ware had the edge just for a moment, and the Mustang defense caught up and held Ware to a gain of a couple. And give him 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 as the clock runs under 6 minutes to play. You wonder about that mercy rule in a 35-7 game? If a team's ahead by 35 points, the clock continues to run. Here's the give up inside. He was grabbed almost as soon as he got the ball. It ends up being a 2-yard gain. It's Seeley. We saw a lot from him early, mostly receiving the ball. He's got 4 catches, 72 yards, and that's the first time he's touched in a bit. Third down and 5. Tooele turned it over on their last possession. About this spot. Young hit just as he throws. It's complete. It's going to be a first down for the Buffaloes. And it's Seeley. Gain of 6. With 4.5 to play in the half and a 35-7 Mountain Crest lead, Tooele keeps the drive going at the 42. Yongi's going to keep it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, loses a yard actually. 5 carries, 3 yards for Yongi. Yongi's thrown it 13 times. He's completed 8 of those 13. So not bad on his completion percentage. 101 yards and an interception. Yongi pressured. Down he goes. They were trying to run a double move on the outside, and they got to him in a hurry. 10-yard loss. I mean, he had nowhere to go. There were multiple Mustangs. That's called a stampede. 3rd and a bunch. 3rd, about 22. Going to run the little tunnel screen, but the receiver falls down as he catches it. In fact, they lose 3 yards on the pass play. So it's complete for a loss of 3. That takes Yongi down under 100 yards. And Mountain Crest with 2:47 on the clock is going to call timeout. They want to put more points on the board and get this game over with.
Mustang fans throughout the season, Mountain Ridge Furniture will be sponsoring the best seat in the house.
I hate to tell you, but I think this game's over with already. It's 35-7. Nothing really on the line for these teams. And Mountain Crest looking good. Dave Caressa, the offensive coordinator for the Mustangs, and he's moved up to the booth. He's sitting in the room off to our left, calling plays. He's spent his whole career down on the field, long-time offensive line coach for this team. And I'm talking a long time, 30-plus years. Pretty good kick, and it's returnable. Heading for the sideline is Olsen, and here comes a late flag. Yeah, somebody made a block, an attempt at a block that really probably shouldn't have been attempted. I think it might have been Clay Gunnell, and they're talking to him right now and saying, hey. He got a block in the back right as the tackler got to the runner. So that's going to back the Mustangs up. We'll see if that slows down the Mountain Crest offense. Oh, and the Booster Club coming up big. Giving out hamburgers like it's Hamburger Christmas. .237 to play in the first half. Mountain Crest with the big lead. And the ball. Hall's quarterback. He sends Dart in motion. He's looking outside for, I think that's Schroeder that snuck out of the backfield. Schroeder's not a runner that makes a lot of people miss with fancy dipsies and doos. He just brings arm and hammer to everything that he does. 3 yards. Mustangs huddle him up. They've scored on every possession here in this first half. And Hall's still the quarterback. Hall waits and runs. Room. Lots of room. Lots of room. More room. A foot race down the sideline, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Mustangs. 61 yards for Brady Hall. 93 yards rushing in the first half. Under 2 minutes, 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Clock stopped as Hall stepped out of bounds. I formation for the Mustangs. Hall hands it off. Schroeder's already got 3 touchdowns. Schroeder picks up a yard. He got his feet cut out from under him. He might have picked up his 4th touchdown. Schroeder comes into the night with 7 touchdowns. When they blow the whistle dead, he was looking for another touchdown. So Schroeder's got 10 touchdowns for the season. But they got a timeout, did Tooele, before the ball was snapped. With a 1:13 to play in the first half and Mountain Crest knocking on the end zone door, Tooele calls timeout. Schroeder already has 3 touchdown runs. He's got 7 carries for 26 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's looking, if he gets 1 more, he's got 7 on the season before tonight. And again, that's That's good enough for 10th in 4A in touchdowns. With 7, he's now up to 10. Let's see if they can get him to 11. Ball inside the 1. 2nd and goal with 1:13 to play in the first half. Hall's going to keep this one. Leaps over his guard into the end zone for a touchdown. Hall with 5 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown. 61 of those yards came just a moment ago to set up the score. Well, it's 41-7. And did somebody call timeout? I looked down to do my stat sheet. And somebody must have called timeout because both teams are huddled over on the sideline.
There's a timeout called again before the play, so no touchdown.
Now I think the touchdown stands. No, did they? Okay, so it was before the play. We're going to do it again. Okay, touchdown. We'll run it how many times? It's like practice out there. Run it again.
This is the 3rd touchdown, but we only get 7 points.
So now the Mustangs with a PAT to come. And I think that was Hall anyway. Didn't hear the whistle. There was a timeout before the score. They scored anyway. 42-7 with 1:09 to play in the first half. And we'll stay right here. We'll keep it right here. We're just about a minute away from halftime. 1:09 away from halftime. Mountain Crest, the 3rd seed going into the playoffs. They'll play either Dixie or Desert Hills. They're playing tonight. As we pull up some scores and see if we can see what's going on in that region. Now, Tooele plays the winner of Orem and Spanish Fork. Orem's leading Tooele, or excuse me, Spanish Fork in the 2nd quarter, 14-6. Green Canyon leads Ben Lomond 17-14. And Logan leads Payson 14-7. All these games in the 2nd quarter. And Ridgeline trails Park City now 9-7. So it's going to be a running clock until Tooele gets this under 35 points. Returned out to the 34-yard line. We'll stop now until they get the teams out there. Tooele takes over. Region 9 plays tomorrow. Desert Hills at Dixie is the one that Mountain Crest will be keeping their eyes on. Yongi's 9 of 14 for 98 yards at the quarterback. He's going to turn and hand it off. Seeley on the pickup of 4. Seeley has 9 yards rushing, 78 yards receiving on 5 catches. And Yongi's going to keep it. Looks underneath, and it's nearly picked off. He was looking for Seth Whitehouse.
Defended by number 2, Chase Dart, intended. Number 15, Seth Whitehouse.
3rd and 6. For Tooele, they're 2 for 5 on 3rd downs. And they're not giving their defense much of a rest. There's a lot of these kids, some of these kids anyway, go both ways. Here's the give. Seeley picks up a yard.
Timeout on the field.
And Mountain Crest calls a timeout. One of the Buffaloes slow to get up. It was Seeley. And they're kind of helping him off. They're already without their leading rusher, Nukuluve Helu. The junior averages 8 yards a carry on the season, and he's out tonight. A concussion. They're holding him out mostly as a precaution. It doesn't sound like that concussion's very bad, but any concussion is not a good concussion. We're much more careful with those these days than way back in the day when old dirtbags like me used to play, and it was, get back in there. Both of your eyes are facing the same direction. All right, well, one of your eyes is facing the same direction. Get back in there. So Staton back to kick. Olsen fields it at about the 23, coming for the near sideline. Stays in bounds, and he's pushed out of bounds about the 35 with 18 seconds left on the first half clock. Mountain Crest leads 42-7. They put up 42 in back-to-back weeks. It took them a whole game last week. They did it in a half tonight. Tooele's struggled defensively all season. And just watching them, I'm not sure how much want to there is out there right now. You hate to say that, but these are young kids. They're getting thumped, and the game doesn't mean much other than pride. Mountain Crest is doing whatever they want as they spread it out. Hall unloads, overthrows. 11 seconds left. It's that running clock in the second half at the 30 with 35 points. So the second half should start with a running clock. As Camden Olsen jogs to the sideline, it was him that Hall was looking for. Good job by the offensive line, giving Hall the time to stand back there and let some long patterns develop. Hall is 3 of 4 for 56 yards. Baldwin is 3 of 4 for 74 yards. Hall against the 3-man rush over the middle. And it's dropped
Hall's pass over the middle
by Arnell.
Arnell's broken up by number 24.
5 seconds to play in the half. The Mountain Crest has struggled on offense all year long, and it's clicking for them the last 2 games. They're going to keep working it. Get what they can out of it. Hall in at quarterback still. He and Baldwin have traded off all night long. It's 3rd down and 10. Lots of time against the 3-man rush. Hall unloads. He's got 2 receivers running streaks. Ball's caught at the 15. No time on the clock, so all that does is pad the stats. It's halftime. Mountain Crest leads Tooele 42-7. You're watching the game of the week on the Valley Channel.
Hi guys, Valley. This This is Fernando with the Factory Pizzeria. We're running a special right now. We're giving out free nachos when you buy a large pizza with 3 toppings. Just mention this out and you're gonna get a free nachos every time you come. The Factory Pizzeria is located in 119 South Main, below the Gia's in the basement. Come see as soon as you can. Thank you.
Vehicle won't start? We can fix that. Not running right? We can fix that. Won't stop? We can fix that. Auto Evolution. Honest service at a fair price on Airport Road.
starting to lose our hearing? Is it genetic? Is it environmental? What's happening to us?
There's many things. Genetics can take a part of it. Certain medications, ototoxic drugs, but most of it's just life, living in general. We go to a concert here, we go to a motorcycle rally, we ride a motorcycle, we're exposed to all these loud sounds, loud music, but it all takes a little bit of hearing, a little bit here, a little bit there. We don't notice it. It's so slowly happening and it's painless, and over time just that little bit compounds, and pretty soon we have a significant hearing loss that's affecting our ability to communicate with our loved ones.
If you are experiencing any kind of problem, be you my age or be you younger, why don't you give Dr. Daines a call here at Cache Valley Hearing. Tell us where we are, Dr. Daines, and how they can get hold of you.
We're at 485 North Main Street in Logan, and you can just give us a call at 435-753-4327 or at 753-HEAR here.
Okay, well that's a good, that's very apt. Yeah, I should say so. Any kind of hearing loss, and literally, please don't let this feeling of embarrassment or it not being manly or cool, that's a bit dim. You shouldn't be embarrassed about something that is a natural aging process.
It's actually more noticeable when you don't hear and have to have people to repeat themselves.
That's true. And extremely irritating for those around you that are having to repeat it time and time again. Thanks so much, Dr. Daines. And seriously, guys, give Dr. Daines a call. Your hearing problems will be solved. Thanks, Dr. Daines. Most furnaces do a pretty good job. They're tucked away, out of sight, out of mind. We don't usually think too much about them. They don't need much. They quietly do their job. A typical high-quality furnace today is rated to provide you with 10 to 15 years of reliable service. But no matter how good they are to begin with, they just don't last forever. It's their job to heat up and cool down, heat up and cool down again, hour after hour, day after day for years. They constantly expand and contract, expand and contract. Eventually, the metal is weakened and then it's time to quit. But the question is, when? If your furnace is getting up there in years, you may want to schedule an inspection. Now, of course, nobody wants to replace a perfectly good furnace. We all want to get as much life out of them as we can. On the other hand, isn't it always better to know if you're about to be literally left out in the cold? Most problems arise when you're not expecting them. Chances are your furnace might decide it's time to quit at the most inconvenient time possible. However, Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning offers 24/7 emergency services. Just call the number on your screen. They'll rush their highly trained and factory qualified technicians to you. They'll analyze the problem and determine if what you need is a simple fix or a complete install. Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning is a family-owned local company. They've been serving Cache Valley homes and businesses for over 20 years with dependable residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services. They'll also help you with your gas fireplaces, heat pumps and water heaters. They're fast and they're reliable. Their customer satisfaction ratings are very high. They'll do simple repairs, replacements, new construction and commercial applications. They're courteous and professional, bonded and insured and up to date on the very latest technology. They'll troubleshoot the problem and quote you a flat rate price before starting any project. They'll service and repair all brands of furnaces, heaters and air conditioners. If it's a replacement that you end up needing, they carry only the top lines like Lennox, Tempstar and Grand Air, and they maintain a large inventory of replacement parts to keep service times to a minimum. And of course, all repairs are guaranteed. Don't forget to ask about financing, special discounts for seniors and veterans, and special online promotions. So, give them a call. You and your furnace will be glad you did.
want to succeed in athletics, but I also want to succeed in school, and I also want to help my family and my community. And so I think through being balanced and juggling all these things, it leads me to fulfill those wants and then be happier because of it.
In order to have a fulfilling and well-rounded life, you have to do a lot of different things.
She goes to her classes and she does her sports.
I don't really know how she does it. I think she goes there every day, which is like a smile on her face.
I think everyone can have a drive, but it's the people that actually choose to feed this hunger are the people that stand out.
Your hunger to win has to be bigger than anybody else's.
If she sets her mind to it, she's going to accomplish it, and I have no doubt about that. Whether it's she needs to drop 3 seconds on her time, she needs to get a better grade on her math test. Bill is just one of those people who, whenever I say you do anything, you always have this drive.
There's a drive there that comes from wanting to be everything that her mom set in motion in the first 13 years of her life.
My mom was one of my closest friends, so she had such an immense impact and influence on my life that when she died, my whole world was kind of turned around.
She was heartbroken, as you would imagine. She knew she had all these little ones looking to her. She was only 12 years old, but she became the person who was handling it.
I'm trying my best, I guess. It's been hard. She was such a big part of my life, but I'm doing the best I can.
She's a beautiful runner. It was just amazing to watch her run.
She's a tremendous sister, tremendous daughter, caring soul, remarkably proud of Jillian.
Like, she has so much responsibility in her life. It's also amazing that she does it with such humility and grace.
When you lose your mom and your sister, you realize how precious every day is, and you want to make the most of every day. Right? You sort of set high goals for yourself, and you sort of work to achieve them.
Sheer will and, passion and, but to get themselves there quicker than anybody else, to reach down deep, push through that pain, that both mental pain where you just want to stop, you want to give up, and that physical pain where your legs and your muscles are screaming, and just get yourself there.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital, together we're greater. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you have been missing. Lynn's Audio and Video, Cache Valley specialist for 60 years. Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning, give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Herms Inn, last chance for great food. Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Planet Fitness of Logan, no intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years. Back at Lynn R. Miller Field on the campus of Mountain Crest High School in Hiram, Eric Olson along with you. As we get ready to start the second half, Mountain Crest leads Tooele 42-7. Bad news for everybody in the state playoffs. The Mountain Crest offense has woke up. Tooele, 7 yards rushing in the first half, 98 yards through the air, 105 total yards in that first half. Iongi was 6 rushes for -7 yards. He did run for a touchdown. He threw 15 times, completed 9 for 98 yards. His number 1 target was Seeley for 5 catches for 78 yards. And looking at the score and listening to the Mountain Crest stats, it pretty much, it's pretty logical. 180 yards passing for the Mustangs, 165 yards on the ground, 345 total yards, and a 90-yard kick return to open the game for a touchdown. The Mustangs really did whatever they wanted. Mason Baldwin was 3 of 4 for 74 yards. Hall was 4 of 6 for 106 yards and a touchdown. Dart caught that touchdown pass of 23 yards. He had 3 catches for 79 yards. Olson had 2 for 81 as we're underway here in the second half. They fake the reverse and return it out to about the 26-yard line, and that's where Tooele will take over. Running clock here in the second half. It's a 35-point spread, and when it gets to 35, it's a running clock until the team that's trailing cuts it down to 21. So this could be a quick second half of football. Schroeder had 3 touchdowns rushing on 7 carries for 26 yards, and Hall 5 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Dart 5 for 34. Tooele getting back to the running game. A handoff to Ware. Ware picks up a couple. Mountain Crest, this first game we've done in a while for the Mustangs. The last time we saw him, Brady Hall was the full-time quarterback. Well, now, the last few weeks, it's been Mason Baldwin. They've been working him in there, and they've been putting Hall in a receiver. He's run the ball, and he's a great blocker. They love how he blocks as they try a little end around and nothing doing. And right now, Hall's out there playing corner, and he may be the best defensive back they have. He's just an all-around great athlete, and this gets him all over the field. And Baldwin, you saw on the end of the first half, they started to let him throw the ball a little bit. It's a loss of 3 for Tooele. It's 3rd down. 2 of 6 in the first half on 3rd down for Tooele. Yongi, quick hitter underneath, big hit by Hall. And pick up 2. It's not going to be enough on 3rd and 12. Seeley has 6 catches for 80 yards. And he's played a pretty good all-around football game for Tooele. Porter Staton in to kick. The senior has had a lot of work tonight at the 15-yard line. Kicks to the sideline. Olson fields it out of bounds at the 38-yard line. That's where Mountain Crest takes over, leading 42-7. So they'll stop the clock on the possession change, and then they'll get it set and get it rolling. Baldwin and Hall both in the ball game. Hall, looks like Baldwin's going to play quarterback. Hall's going to split to the near side. Schroeder's in the backfield. 4 receivers. And a handoff. You see, that may have been Dart, not Schroeder. No, that's Schroeder. Schroeder picks up 8. Baldwin looking to throw underneath, and he didn't get his feet set, and he one-hops that one. This is Baldwin, really his first go at quarterback was this year, so he's learning on the fly. Alex Caressa was a great quarterback here. Dave Caressa's son, Dave Caressa, the offensive coordinator, long-time coach here at Mountain Crest. Alex Caressa has been helping him and helping him develop into a quarterback. It's 3rd down. Mountain Crest was 2 of 2 on 3rd downs. Baldwin's going to keep it. Bounces outside, needs to get upfield. He's going to be right at the marker. And let's see, I think they're going to give him a 1st down. It was 3rd and 2. First down. So he picked up just enough for the 1st down. continues at quarterback. Schroeder behind him. He's going to hand it off. Schroeder stepping over people and fighting forward for about 6. He's up to 40 yards on 9 carries. Last week the Mustangs had 2 100-yard rushers. Dart had 137 yards. Schroeder had 111. Only 6 pass attempts in that game last week against Green Canyon. Baldwin threw it, put it up 4 times. Hall put it up twice. Motion, and Baldwin's going to throw over the middle, caught by Hall as he reached out and snatched it out of the air. And it looks like he's going to have enough for a first down. 5 yards and a first down as the Mustangs keep moving the chains. Approaching 6 minutes to play in the third period. A running clock in a 42-7 ball game. The Mustangs in the lead. Baldwin's going to keep it. He faked up the middle and the ball comes free. Baldwin turned the corner and a defender reached for it and knocked the ball out. Baldwin picked up 10 yards but then fumbled. So he gets the yardage, but he's not going to like the turnover. He turned the corner, had the yardage, and one of the Tooele defenders reached out and reached for him and knocked the ball away. Came flying out of there. And then Tooele jumped on it. The first turnover of the game for Mountain Crest. And Iangi continues at quarterback as they spread it out with 5 wide receivers. Iangi, the long throw, pick. That is a long throw, and it hung up in the air for a while. Burgess with the interception, and the Mustangs get it right back. Second interception for Iangi. He was throwing that to the near sideline. That's a long throw, and Burgess had a long time to break on that one. You got to put mustard on that one when you're throwing it to the far sideline like that. And Iangi kind of hung it out there. Baldwin still the quarterback. He's going to follow Schroeder. Baldwin into the secondary, down inside the 5. 21 yards. So the Mustangs are at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal, as Arnell steps into the huddle. Baldwin. He's got Schroeder to his left. And instead he hands on the counter to Dart. Picks up a couple. No, that wasn't even Dart. That was Fuller. Fuller picked up a couple. Here's the give and the touchdown for the Mustangs. Dart lives up to his name into the end zone. And a 2-yard touchdown, and Jace Dart has 36 yards and the score. Arnell keeping busy with the PATs. 49-7, the Mustangs cruising with 4:11 to play in the third quarter.
something, and I'd say, huh? And then they'd tell me again, and I'd say, huh? And they'd say, never mind. And so I called and made an appointment.
Say the word pass.
It was a PhD, and I know what it takes to get a PhD.
Say the word red.
It was like night and day. And then the hearing test was the thing that I thought, wow, he really knows what he's doing. I would recommend Dr. Daines to anybody, everybody.
49-7 with 4:11 to play in the third quarter. Mountain Crest firmly in control of this ball game. After the Tooele turnover, the Mustangs punch it in. A 2-yard run by Jace Dart. Dart 36 yards and a touchdown on 6 carries. With a short kick, getting a pretty good run back. Start out near the 40-yard line. Tooele trailing 49-7. It's a running clock here in the second half. Once it gets to 35 points, the clock just keeps on running. 35 points meaning that's the difference between the team in the lead and the team behind. And well, right now it's a 42-point difference. Tooele would have to score 3 touchdowns for the clock to go back to normal. Once it's a 21-point deficit, then they start running the clock as normal. Tooele's going to stay in the air. This one batted up. That Mustang defensive line, 3 sacks in the first half, 29 coming into the game. So they're averaging 3 sacks per ball game. And if they're going to throw the ball, which, you know, if that's what they're going to work on, that's Mountain Crest is just going to be able to pin their ears back and come after it. We heard some of the coaching staff up here in the booth as they went to half, and telling coaching staff downstairs to let the team know, don't let up. We're getting ready for the playoffs. And that's a good way to do it. Veeder putting the big hit on Seeley. That's a loss of 3. It's an ad. It's the end of the Cache Valley hearing ad. So it's 3rd down and 13. Two of 7. Iyangi looking deep, going down the far sideline. Boy, he put one right in the basket of his receiver, but the receiver couldn't find it. Iyangi put that one out there. I don't know if the receiver couldn't see it, lost in the light, or couldn't see past around the defensive back. And it looked to me like it hit him right in the hip. Iyangi's now 11 of 19 for 97 yards. And it's 4th down. And the 3rd down woes for Tooele continue. They're 2 of 8. And Mountain Crest is going to keep trying to score the football when they get it back here offensively. Here's Olsen. Wrapped up. No return. And I would imagine for Mountain Crest, some kids are going to get some playing time. Baldwin will probably stay at quarterback. And there he is. Fuller comes with him. And Dart goes off. Elijah Jackson in the tight end. Baldwin hands it off to Fuller. Fuller picks up 6. under a minute to play in the third period. Second and 4. In a game that Mountain Crest leads 49-7. Mountain Crest returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, went up 7-0. Tooele tied the score with a long touchdown drive of their own, and it was all Mountain Crest after that. They led at the half, 42-7. Fuller carries again, picks up a yard. I'll give him 2. Arnell's the receiver, split to the near side, one to the far side, and 2 backs for Baldwin as he shifts them around. He's going to pitch it to Fuller. Fuller running near side, put his shoulder down, big collision right at the first down marker. That was Pechtal that came up and met Fuller. And that's the end of the third quarter. 49-7, Mountain Crest leads Tooele as we head to the final quarter of the regular season.
My older brother thought he could do a 360. Yeah, he got maybe a 60 before his face planted. We went to the emergency room and Dad told us to behave because we probably would have to wait a long time. But they brought us right back here and the doctor used x-ray vision to see what the big dummy wrote.
ER specialists at every one of our 8-star hospitals are dedicated to seeing you fast. Mountain Star Hospitals. Look for the star.
Gonna post this on Instagram.
Back at Mountain Crest High School, 49-7 as we head to the fourth quarter. It's been a running clock here this second half, so it's been a fast-moving second half. That's really the only thing that's slowing the Mustangs down. Tooele's had trouble defensively all season long, giving up nearly 30 points per game. They are in the playoffs. They're the 4th seed out of their region. But Mountain Crest, the last couple of games, has found some offense. And again, I said earlier, one of their coaches told me that they were 8 to 10 plays away from being in contention for the region crown. They really feel like they're peaking at the right time. Four yards on the run. Let's see who that was that's in there playing running back with the orange sleeves. .42, I think it's Walker Hutchinson. We'll see if we can get a better look on another play here. Big trouble. And down goes the quarterback. That was Walker Hutchinson on the last carry. And we've got another quarterback in there right now, a new quarterback.
Who's quarterback now?
Because
15?
we're trying to see who it is. It's hard to see those silver numbers. Here's the give. Try to get a look at that quarterback's numbers and to come up short on third down for the first time all night. The Mustangs are going to have to punt. High kick, short kick, kicks backwards. And not a really long kick out to the 42-yard line.
kick. I think that was Zeb Benson that was in there at quarterback, number 16, the sophomore. Yongi throws the out pattern to Seeley. Seeley picks up 6. Nine minutes to play in the ball game, a ball game that's been all Mountain Crest since the early going. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Tooele tied the score, and since then Mountain Crest has put 42 more points on the board. They lead 49-7. Niangi up under center. Seeley in the backfield, and they're waiting for Ware, who's over on the sideline. They're going to give it to Seeley. Seeley fumbles it, and it's picked up by one of the Buffaloes. Picked up and advanced by number 12, who's not on the Tooele roster that we've been provided with. So this is the deepest foray into Mountain Crest territory since their first possession for Tooele. And it comes with 8:20 to play in the ball game. They're at the Mountain Crest 40. Give it off to, another player we don't have a number for, or a name for, 11. Good job, 11. You picked up 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5. Sorry we can't say your name. It skips from 9 to 13. They give it to 12 on that little end around. He's got the edge. Inside the 20, on his feet still, down to the 18. So Tooele getting something going here in the waning moments of the ball game, trying to punch it in again. They're still working on their stuff. They've got a playoff game coming up in 10 days. Niangi with the give. Number 30, somebody else who does not reside on the roster. And Tooele marching toward the end zone. 2nd down and 3 at the 13-yard line. 6.5 to play in the ball game. And Mountain Crest calls timeout. I think Coach Jason Lee doesn't want to give up any more points because he is pretty animated in that defensive huddle. He's pulled the defense over there, and he is speaking sharply to them all as Tooele's marched down the field here after the short punt. First punt of the night for the Mustangs, and it came midway through the 4th quarter. They've scored every time they've touched the ball but two. One of them they turned it over. The other time was just a moment ago when they had to punt. And then on that turnover, they intercepted Tooele on the very next play. 2nd and 3. Niangi's going to throw it. Off his back foot, ball tapped up into the air and falls incomplete in the end zone. 3rd and 3. hear the Mountain Crest students. They've been pretty vocal all night. They've had plenty to cheer for. Tooele's 2 of 8 on 3rd downs. And this is 3rd and 3. Iongi fumbles it. I think Mountain Crest may have come up with it. Let's see, they're acting like it. Mustang football. So the Mustang defense got called to the sideline. We're privy to a few inspirational words from their head coach about not giving up any more points, and they responded. And the Mustang offense takes over with 5:45 to play in a 49-7 ball game, a game with a running clock. Mountain Crest basically with the JV in there. And it's Fuller. Fuller picks up almost 6 yards. Now here's a flag thrown. I think it's the first flag of the second half. Did Mountain Crest break the huddle with 12 players? Nope. Timeout Mountain Crest. They're picking up the flag, waving it off. Was actually short a player. The Mustangs take a moment. Now we're up and ready to go. Fuller picks up the first down. Well, I don't know. He might be a little bit short. No, they're going to give it to him. Fuller 6 rushes for 22 yards. Mountain Crest trying to take advantage of the 3rd Tooele turnover. Give to Fuller. And he's got a lot of company in the backfield. He does good to pick up the 1 yard that he did. Coming up on the 4-minute mark. Left in the game. Fuller again. Another yard. Schroeder's got 9 carries to lead as far as workload goes for all the backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mustangs have carried the football in a running play. Hall has 5 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. Schroeder 9 for 40 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dart 6 for 36 and a score. Baldwin 6 for 44. And Fuller 8 for 24. Hall ends the night 4 of 6 for 106 yards and a touchdown. Baldwin 4 of 6 for 79 yards. There's Fuller on 3rd and 8, picking up 10. As they go to the outside, they've been running mostly up inside. That time they go to the edge. 3 minutes to play in the ball game. They're going to throw it. Underneath, ball caught by Walker Hutchinson. Hutchinson stays in bounds and he's deep into Tooele territory. 33 yards. Mountain Crest is trying to put this one away. Zeb Benson, the sophomore in at quarterback. Hutchinson in there. Fuller is the tailback. We're going to pitch it to Fuller. He follows Hutchinson, looking for the edge. Has it. Picks up 7. Under 2 minutes to play now on the Mustangs. Getting the JV some playing time. Here's the pitch to Fuller. You know, Fuller plays. He's not as much of a JV kid. He sees some playing time. The Mustangs will improve to 6-4 on the season. Another winning season at Mountain Crest. They've had a lot of them. That's a first down. They moved the sticks and we're under a minute. They hand it to Fuller. Fuller hit after a short gain. Mountain Crest has rushed for 261 yards in this ballgame. 261 yards rushing. And they're going to hand to Fuller, and he's going to get some more. $268 yards rushing for the Mustangs. They threw for 185. And they found their offense just in time as they head to the state playoffs next week. Mountain Crest defeats Tooele tonight, 49-7, coming off a short week. Everything going right for the Mustangs. We hope you enjoyed our game tonight. We will have Logan and Pineview next week in the first round of the state playoffs. Until then, we'll see you next time on the Valley Channel.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital, together we're greater. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you have been missing. Lynn's Audio and Video, Cache Valley specialist for 60 years. Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning. Give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Herms Inn, last chance for great food. Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Planet Fitness of Logan, no intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years.